Hi friends, recently we have been hearing so much uproar about the 2026 amendment put forward regarding Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. So let us understand what is the whole issue. India is globally infamous for its administrative overreach. The recently proposed amendments to Foreign Contributions Regulation Act reinforces that claim. The passage of the bill was deferred following an uproar by the opposition in the parliament. Let us understand the whole issue. First of all, what is Foreign Contribution Regulation Act? It is an Indian law that regulates the acceptance and use of foreign donations by individuals, associations, and companies, especially to prevent their use in ways considered against the national interest. The law is often discussed in the context of NGO funding, political activity, and national security because it is meant to stop foreign money from influencing activities seen as harmful to India's interest. The FCRA was first enacted on March 31, 1976 to regulate foreign contributions amid concerns over foreign influence on India's sovereignty during the emergency period. Before this 1976, there was no such law and there was no restrictions on the flow of funds to such NGOs. This 1976 law was repealed and replaced by a new, more stringent FCRA 2010, which came into effect on May 1, 2011, consolidating and updating the law while retaining its core principles. It was triggered after the 26/11 terrorist attacks. This law, the 2010 law, requires NGOs, associations, and other entities to register or get prior permission before receiving foreign funds. The FCRA 2010 says that permission is granted only for 5 years. That is, the permission to receive the foreign capital is only for 5 years, after which that entity should renew or apply for a new permission. If a registered entity receives the foreign capital, only 50% of that capital can be used for administrative expenses like salaries, rent, utilities, etc. The received foreign capital cannot be just transferred to anyone. Political organizations and media broadcasters should not receive any foreign capital at all. After the 2010 amendment, layer by layer, different restrictions were introduced in subsequent years. Some of the major ones include, such as 2016 one, where if FCRA violations took place, then that entity loses the tax exemption status. In 2018, what was considered as foreign source, and in 2020, one of the major changes wherein only 20% of the foreign fund could be used for administrative expenses. The foreign fund cannot be transferred to other entities once it was received. The foreign fund should only be accepted through the Delhi branch of SBI and so on. Please do note that there were other amendments also, but these were just some prominent ones in those introduced amendments. The 2026 amendment, the current amendment, deals with situations where an organization's FCRA registration is cancelled, suspended, or not renewed. A designated authority will be appointed by the union government, and this authority would take control, manage, or dispose the foreign contributions and assets created from such foreign funds in cases where an organization loses its FCRA registration. If that organization is a religious place, then its religious character will be maintained even after takeover. The assets will be restored if an FCRA certificate is renewed or restored or a fresh one is granted. The proceeds that the designated authority generates from the assets sold or transferred are to be directed to the Consolidated Fund of India. We know Consolidated Fund of India is the main fund where India's revenues get deposited. Now, this is the important point, or the point where the current uproar is taking place. That is, if an organization has submitted the application for FCRA renewal but got delayed, and that delay happened from the part of the government. Still, the designated authority can take over an organization, stating that its permission to act as an FCRA foreign fund receiving entity is over. Now, this is one of the important uproar, the reason for the uproar in the current amendment. Currently, there are nearly 15,000 FCRA associations which are active, nearly 22,000 had their licenses cancelled, and nearly 15,000 licenses are deemed to have expired. That is, they didn't renew after 5 years. It is true that some organizations do work against the national interest as the government say, but by introducing a law or an amendment that affects everyone, including genuine organizations, is not an acceptable move. Now we have to understand a logic behind why the government allocates tax-exempt status to some NGOs. It is a duty of the elected government to ensure poverty alleviation, nutrition, education, health, gender rights, or other such fundamental rights are given to citizens. But in a country as vast as India, the government struggles to deliver these basic necessities uniformly. Therefore, government gives tax-exempt status to those NGOs that are doing the works that the government is supposed to be doing. Government's introduction of the mandate for corporate social responsibility is a tacit recognition of the need for such civil society support. In summary, in a vibrant yet complex secular democracy like India, where diverse ethno-cultural and religious communities thrive side by side, anti-national elements inevitably emerge to undermine the national unity. Rather than surgically targeting these threats through precise evidence-based action, broad blanket restrictions, as the government has now imposed, offer a blunt and flawed remedy that risks stifling legitimate entities. Thank you.